Babajide Odusolu, Special Advisor to the State Governor and Special Advisor on Property and Investments. It's a pleasure to be here with you, briefly talking to you about housing and technology in housing. Now, just to give you a backdrop to why this is important, my understanding is you're talking about mastering change, and you're talking about the impact of change on you, especially as young people, and us as a nation. You've got to understand that Nigeria has a huge population that is rapidly being diversified. What do I mean by that? We're becoming younger every day. That graph shows you the population dynamics of Nigeria as of today. And if you look at it, if you look at those triangle-like objects, the lower you go, the more the people. So as of today, Nigeria's population predominantly is around there. Yep, that means most Nigerians are now young people. It means our population is approximately 60% below the age of 21. It means all of you here are too old already. Just think about that for a minute. It means all of you here are already too old for the new Nigeria. So anything you're doing today is basically preparing you to lead the next generation of Nigerians. Now, when you understand that and you think of it in the terms of business, opportunity, growth, it tells you that almost anything you can imagine to do would actually put you in the limelight. Now, typically you have a pyramid of needs. Next to food, the next thing we all worry about is shelter, correct? Good. Now, when you have a huge population, that's a growing population, that's a young population, it means you have more people occupying one space at a particular point in time, correct? And that means you're going to have what you call urbanization, which basically is what you get when too many people are occupying the same space at the same time. Now, to understand, these three pictures show you three different cities in different phases of urbanization. That's New York, that's Lagos, and that's Beijing. Which one do you think most represents what we're going through in Nigeria? It's not New York, it's Beijing. Because Beijing is a place where they had the single child policy for a long time because they had a very large population. And when they realized that wasn't working, they had to start figuring out to urbanize their cities. That's why you have a lot of environmental issues also in Beijing, just like what we have in Lagos, just like what we have in Nigeria. That means our population is growing so fast that we're not growing fast enough to meet its needs. Now, if you're going to have that kind of challenge, it means you've got to start thinking out of the box. Typically, I'm sure most people in this room, you grew up in a house where you had a nice big compound, you and your siblings probably either shared rooms or you had a room to yourself. That's going to be a fable to the next generation because they won't have that kind of space. Yes, they won't. That same nice big compound you grew up in is going to probably have to accommodate about 10 different houses. In developed societies today with this same challenge, they literally live in small single apartments. In fact, there's a place I read about in Japan where you actually go, because they don't have houses in the city anymore, you actually pay per hour to sleep. So you can imagine you're all sitting here in Abeokuta very comfortably on the seat, and then after 1 hour somebody comes to nudge and say, "Oh God, your time is up." The next person needs to come and use the space. Now, it sounds far-fetched, but that's what you get with urbanization, when you don't plan to meet up with it. So when you have urbanization, you have changes in lifestyles, you have adjustments in living conditions, you have major city life issues, you have more people per square mile, and the cities stop growing wide, they start growing up. So you're not going to be living in bungalows. Unless you're very, very rich, you're not going to be living in duplexes. You're going to be living in apartments. And you're not going to be living in 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom apartments either. You're going to be living in 2-bed apartments, 1-bed apartments in the city. If you want to live large, you go to what they call the countryside. So you won't be living in Abeokuta. You're probably living in, let's think about it now. You know what I'm talking about, right? Good. So that's what I want you to picture in your mind and ask yourself, so how can you grow to meet that challenge? Now, some of what I'm sharing with you, you may not be in a position to take advantage of it right now. because it's capital intensive. But you need to start thinking about it and asking yourself, how do I as a person adjust myself to be able to take advantage of these opportunities that are going to be coming up in the society? Now, one of the things we've discovered is you can't build fast enough using the conventional method. You can't build fast enough, you can't build cheaply enough, and you can't build plenty enough to accommodate the need of people around you. So one of the things we've decided to do is to use what we call formwork technology. What's formwork technology? Formwork technology basically allows you to get more volume of housing within the same space by going up. And going up not in an expensive way, going up in a way that is very affordable. So with formwork tech, what you basically do is you jump from doing foundations to doing frames and to filling it with concrete, and you have your house. Now, it means invariably you have a system that you can use and reuse. If you've ever seen them building houses, typically the way we build houses conventionally, remember I said to you, change is here, the old ways won't work. So the way you build houses, normally you dig the foundation, you put up wood, you cast your foundation, you cast the wood aside. That's waste. And then you put your block work, you do the same over and over again. With formwork, you don't need to do all of that. You set forms, you set frames, you pour in the concrete, you're done. And you reuse it. It gives you better quality, faster construction, and reduced costs. The downside of what it also gives you, if you're used to the old normal, is less manpower. So if you're not an enterprising person, you're going to find yourself unable to play in the market. Because all those jobs that you ordinarily would expect to be available no longer be available. Industrialization will have caught up with them and they'll be phased out. So typically, if you're going to build, this is how it works using concrete. It means you can build a whole house in 12 days. Just think about that. You're going to build a whole house from start to finish, from digging the ground to living, having the house ready to live in 12 days. It can actually be less if it's a smaller house. This gives you the same concept. Remember that's building wide, 12 days. If you're building up and you want a 4-story building, you build it in 30 days. I know it sounds extreme, but if you want to believe, if you don't believe me, take a dive down Kuto. There's a new hotel that we built in 64 days using this method from start to finish. We built it all using formwork. So this is what you get. And to make you understand the difference, if you look at this graph, it shows you how long it will take you using normal methods to build a typical bungalow. It takes you, no matter how fast you are, it's going to take you 2 months. But if you're using FormTech, it will take you 1 month. That's for a bungalow. But if you're going up, it gets interesting. No matter how well you can build, if you're going to do quality housing that won't collapse, and you're going up, it will take you minimum 6 to 9 months. If you're using FormTech, same house will take you 3 months. So you can imagine when you have societies that are growing, this is where they go. They look for how to do it faster and cheaper and get more volume of housing per space. What does that mean to you where you are? It means these 4 things. If you're looking for how to begin to prepare yourself, it means there are more opportunities for people who have specialist skills. We call them master craftsmen, because you're now going to have more houses being turned out. It means you have need for more skilled people. So the days where you get a tiler and he tells your guy, I'll finish tiling in 1 month, one building, it cannot happen anymore. Now you're going to need tilers who can tile in 1 week. You're going to need people who can paint overnight. You're going to need people who can do woodwork. You're going to need people doing a lot of things. It means that in acquiring skills today, you need to begin to change the paradigm of the skills you want to acquire. Let me tell you this funny story that happened to me. I traveled once and I was with a friend, and he was preparing for some craftsmen to come to his house to do some work. And the next thing he says to me is, oh, I've got to move furniture. And I go, why do you have to move furniture? He said, the craftsmen are coming tomorrow. The space needs to be open. And I said, Tyler is coming to tell you I'm moving furniture. Is he not coming with his laborers? And the man looked at me and said, this is not Nigeria. Here, if you're going to get a craftsman, You prepare the space because he has no time to waste. He has allocated X number of minutes for you. If he gets there and your space is not ready, he leaves your job, goes to the next one. Now that's what happens when you become skilled and highly valuable. Today you all think that, oh, to be a painter is a job for somebody who is not educated. To be a plumber is not a job for somebody who is not educated. To be a craftsman is, no, it's not. I know craftsmen who drive Porsches and Ferraris, and yet they're doing hard work. But they drive fancy cars, they live in expensive neighborhoods. Why? Because they're highly valued. Closely linked to that is people that do manufacturing, people that do all sorts of fittings. You can set up a woodwork factory today, and I can tell you that the number of people that will buy from you, you will not be able to produce fast enough to meet their need. Think about that. It means you can actually go into door production, windows manufacturing, anything you can imagine, and start small and scale up. The better you are, the more valuable you are, the higher the potential you have to earn. Of course, tech. When you're going up, the need for technology increases, because it will get to a point where you're not using natural lighting anymore. You're not using artificial lighting. You're using cooling. You're using automation. It means you need to start thinking out of the box and asking yourself, how can I automate construction? How can I automate buildings? Because that's what's going to make you valuable in the new normal that you guys are living in. Then you have people who are going to do interior works and all sorts of decor finishes. So the whole idea is that this is how it works. This is what it looks like. For those who are probably still wondering what I'm talking about, that's from foundation. You start at day zero. You're digging your ground. You're setting up your forms and your frames. You're putting in those are the panels. That's the formwork. They're made of aluminium. You set them up. You come in there. You pour your concrete, and that's your building. And all of this you're looking at takes place within 4 days. You don't believe me? Just go to Mitro's residences. Go knock on the walls. Probably book a room for the night, and you'll be surprised that it's actually standing and people using it. So that's what it looks like. So we went from nothing to that, finishing, and that's what it looks like. That is 64 days, start to finish. So the whole idea, now when you finish this, remember I said to you there are opportunities. You now need to furnish it. And interesting thing is that's where we now have a problem, because the people that are going to do furnishing don't expect you to be that fast. So the guy who is manufacturing is probably still drying his wood. Meanwhile your house is ready. But that's the new future. And this is going on the ground floor. If you start going up, it changes a bit more. But the beauty of it is there are opportunities if you're prepared to use them. Alright? Thank you.